Hi guys, so I'm going to show you guys how you can make a soap dispenser or toothbrush holder. So if you're going to make this lotion or soap dispenser, you need to come to school and get the pump and the cork. For toothbrush holder, you don't need those things. And then you'll need some kind of a cylinder to wrap it around, so I'm using breadcrumbs. If you want it narrower, you can use something like a Pringles can, that kind of thing. And you definitely want to wrap that in paper towel because otherwise the clay will stick to it. I have excess, so I'm going to cut that off. And then just tape it onto it. So you can use any kind of tape. I have masking tape right here. And so you want to tape that paper towel onto your cylinder. And then I'm just going to do the top two here just to help out a little bit so it doesn't stick up to it, I should say. I'm going to put a little bit of tape on there too. Also, if you have cookie cutters, you might try to find a cookie cutter, or if it's empty, you could take the lid off to trace when you guys are ready for that. So you'll want to use a slab mat. If your slab mat's too small, you can tape it like a newspaper or something down to your table so the clay doesn't stick. And then you want to hand roll or toss your slabs. I'm at school, so I use the slab roller. So I have a slab for the base and the top, and then a bigger slab for the actual piece. Okay, and then it's very simple to create this form to start. So you're gonna start with this piece, but I am going to cut off the base a little. And you guys don't have a needle tool, but you guys can use your stick. And so I'm gonna trim a little bit of this away and save that clay because you can use it for other things. And then you're going to take and you're going to wrap that clay around your cylinder. So it's just perfect for mine, okay? I'm actually gonna roll this a little bit thinner so I can have a little bit of overlap, and you'll see why in a second. So you can take your rolling pin, or you can also take your can that you wrapped, like a Pam spray can that you wrapped in paper towel, and use that to roll out your clay. So this is a little bit wider so I get an overlap, and you'll see why. So I'm gonna take that and just roll my clay up. This is kind of big for a lotion or soap dispenser. I didn't have a Pringles can at school. This would probably be better for the toothbrush holder, but I'll show you this because you'd be filling this with a lot of lotion or soap. Okay, see where it's overlapped? So the reason I wanted that overlap is I'm now going to take my needle tool and I'm going to cut that overlap at a 45-degree angle between the two slabs. You will see why in a minute. Okay, and you'll have excess clay. Okay, so the reason for that is so that when I go to slip and score it, it'll be a lot easier to do that on the form. You must slip and score, so you guys should have scoring tools. So you take some of your slip. So what I like to do is I like to start off on the top part and score that and slip it all at once. And then I'll know that I need to put it on this side as well. And then I'm just gonna roll it into that overlap. Now you have this edge, so you could smear it with your fingers, but your scoring tool works really well for doing this. Also, if you haven't made your container yet, this is a super easy way to make the container. So I can score that to really make sure it's attached well, and then I can go down the piece. And the advantage of this is I can remove excess clay. And that excess clay I can just put in my slip cup, or I can put aside to throw away later. So I have room in my slip cup, so I'm just gonna put that in there. Okay, then you can use the flat edge of that to start to smooth it. You'll have to do some more smoothing on the piece when it firms up a little, but this is a way that you can get it nice and smooth and even on your cylinder. Okay, now I can build the base onto this right now, and then I'll probably take it off the form to build the top. So I do have a cookie cutter that fits, so I'm going to use that. Let's see if I can get two out of this. Yes, I can. So I'm gonna cut out two, one for the top and one for the bottom. And like I said, save that excess clay or put it right away in your Ziploc so you can use it later. Okay, so I am just going to slip and score that on there, and if you get paper towel in it, it's okay, no big deal. So I want to put slip and score I want to slip and score this part. Got a piece of that fresh clay in there. It needs to dissolve a little more. And then also onto my circular form. Be generous when you slip and score, so you really, really get a good attachment so it doesn't come apart in the drying or the firing. Okay, so again, I'm going to use my scoring tool. It's just faster to score this onto it. And it does create a little bit of angle because this was a little smaller. I could always fill that, or I could leave that angle. I might like that kind of lift it gives the piece. Remember, you're making a unified set, so if you do a foot treatment like this on this piece, then you might want to do a similar foot treatment on some of the other work that you're doing as well. So I really use that scoring tool to score it. Aren't you thankful for your scoring tool? Works much better than a fork. And then the flat edge to do some more smoothing. And you can kind of turn it while you do it, which is nice. You don't have a banding wheel, but this works pretty well. And then I like to turn it upside down, give it a thump. Okay, now I like to build the top of it outside of the form. So because you put paper towel on it, you should be able to pull that form right out of the clay. But if you aren't able to do it, you can let it firm up a little bit and pull that out of the form after it firms up a little. If you leave it on the form too long, then what's going to happen, I'm going to peel this away a little bit, is it's going to shrink and crack. I know some of you guys have experienced that, so I'm just pulling this away from the top to release this a little bit better. So if you had not put paper towel on it, it would be even more challenging than it is now. It's starting to come out. So the paper towel is what's going to make it easy to come out. And I don't care about the paper towel because that'll just burn out in the kiln, okay? Or if you want to, you can peel that out, which would be nice. Then I don't have burning paper towel. Now this is a little wobbly, so I'm gonna adjust that. Now on the inside, I want to fill that seam. So one of the best things you can use to fill that seam actually, guys, is use your paintbrush and slip. And if you can get your finger down in there, that works really well too. So I'm just taking some slip and my paintbrush, and I'm putting some slip in that corner down there since it's hard to reach. The other place is that seam. So if you can get in there with your finger, or better yet, your scoring tool, as far down as you can, that will really, really help you guys to make this a very strong piece that would be waterproof. Okay, now, for the lotion dispenser, this would be a huge one. This would be actually better for utensils, by the way. You could smooth this up and it'd be good to go. But for the lotion dispenser, you're going to attach the lid and cut a hole out of it. But for the toothbrush holder, I highly recommend, just like the container, that you do some kind of a lid with a coil or something so you can remove the top and do it that way, okay? I'm going to actually roll this out a little bit thinner because it's a little small. And if I go both directions, it'll keep more of its circular form and shape, just so that it's a little bit bigger for the top of my piece. Now it'll fit a little bit bigger onto the form. Okay, now that I have that, I'm going to take the cork, the big fat side, and I'm going to either trace it or just press it into that and then cut that out. So it's a little big, but it'll shrink. And the reason that we are using these cork lotion dispensers pumps is because they're tapered. And so even if it shrinks, this should fit in there well. So it's too big now, but the clay is going to shrink a little bit. So now that I have that, looks like a donut, I'm going to slip and score this on the top. Now, if you make a smaller one, you will notice the plastic piece may be too tall. So if it is too tall, you just take and trim a little bit at an angle so that it will fit in the height of your lotion or soap dispenser. So after you slip and score this on to your piece, then you would decide if you want to do your decoration now for your unified set or later. And then you would keep it leather hard after you upload it to the Padlet by keeping it in plastic, and then bring it in to be fired. And then after it's glaze fired, you put the cork onto the pump and it actually works. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how to make either a toothbrush holder or a lotion and soap dispenser. Bye.